Talked to the family. An eagle was one of Jake's favorite things. And we had this tile created for Jake in his memory. And we're going to present that to the family today, as well as Jake's badge that we had mounted on a plaque that will go home with the family. The plaque will stay with us, and we've got a place for this plaque across Central Avenue at the zoo. It will go on one of the large stones over there, and it will always stay there, and it will be a special place for you and for our family to go and remember Jake. After the services, the family has brought with Jake a lot of things that belong to him, as well as these plaques, and they would like you to come up and take a look at them, enjoy the pictures and the photographs and the memories. At this time, I would like to introduce Sergeant John Bradley. John worked with Jake on the evening shift, spent lots of time with Jake, lots of time working on cars. John's the other one that would call me in the middle of the night and say, hey, can I go buy 2 quarts of oil or a headlight? And Jake and I got one of the cars jacked up out in the parking lot with the wheels off of it. And I'm going, what are you doing, you know? And I said, it's a quiet night, everybody's here, and we're going to fix this car. John Bradley.
Jake was a great partner to me and Gilbert. He loved mechanical things, as we've talked about, whether it be a car or a computer or a Honda. To the story of his dedication to vehicles, a few years ago, August of 2006, we had one of the worst rainstorms we've ever had in the city of Albuquerque, at least one that I've seen. His last radio transmission said that he was at the zoo, and I was at Plaza del Sol. And we saw the supercell coming north by northeast across the city. All of a sudden, it came down. It flooded the parking lot in 2 minutes, as well as the downstairs of Plaza del Sol. Jake called me and said that he was taking on water. I said, Jake, where are you at? He said, 8th and Iron. I said, well, I thought you were at the zoo. He goes, no, I'm taking on water. What should I do? I said, Jake, get out of the car. Get to safety. He said it was up above the seats in the Honda Hybrid. I said, Jake, I'll be right there. It was getting dark, and traffic and the water around downtown prevented me from getting there for about 45 minutes. I finally found him. We took a look at the car. He was extremely worried that he was going to be in trouble with the chief. I said, Jake, we'll fix the car if we have to. I said, the chief will understand. It's you that needs to be safe. So we got to the vehicle, and it wouldn't start. It was hydro-locked, and he was still extremely concerned that he was going to be in trouble. I said, Jake, you're doing your job. He said he was going to assist somebody. I said, Jake, you were doing your job. You're going to be okay. The chief will understand. We'll fix the car. Well, the car was towed to a Honda dealer, and the engine had to be replaced. But he was still concerned to this day about that car. And I told him that, I said, the main thing is you were safe, but the car can always be fixed. And many nights we did fix cars on the side of the road. We put a thermostat in several of them. He also had a dedication to duty. He was going to Route 66 one night to eat breakfast. and he came upon an accident on the bridge that goes over into Route 66 Casino. He stopped and, still in uniform on his motorcycle, he directed traffic for an hour and a half, he said, until everybody was clear and the situation was resolved. I asked him, did you ever get your breakfast? He said, no, it was too late after that. I said, well, one of these days we'll go out there and we'll have breakfast. And that's how he got the moniker Sergeant Snorkel, the U-boat commander. Yeah, I guess now when...
And it actually got so deep that the water came over the edges of the door tops and filled the car with water. And he called me that night. He said, oh, I think you're going to be mad. And I said, what happened? And he told me, and I said, Jake, what were you doing? And he said, well, I had to get to the zoo. And I said, what were you doing? He said, I had to check on the officers at the zoo. It's really raining hard. I said, it'll be okay. And a few $1,000, a new engine, some new upholstery, and about 4 months worth of mechanical work. And we had that car back, and we're still driving it today. In fact, we used it today to come over here. But from that day forward, we called him Sergeant Snorkel. And every time I'd see thunderclouds from my house down here in the valley, and I knew Jake was working, I'd call him on his phone, and I'd say, I see clouds, you need to go park your car. And he would laugh. Officer Carlos Bazan is with us today, and Jake supervised him for quite a while.
South Broadway Culture Center, he used to be security guard there. I remember one night when he was walking us to our cars to make sure we got there okay. The traffic on the main street was jam-packed. I couldn't get out of my space. He says, give me a second, I'll step out in front of one of the cars so at least you could pull out. I said, no, don't worry about it. I could sit and wait. He says, no. The next thing I know, he had the car stopped so I could get out to go home for the evening. He was a great man, and he will be dearly missed. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Robert. I was his nephew. Just thank you all for coming. First of all, I can believe that so many people were touched by his life. Hearing all these stories from him today, I can't say that I'm surprised. It's the kind of man that he was. He had a sense about him that no matter how much you messed up or what you did, it would be all right. There's Uncle Jake would still be there. He was the kind of uncle that would encourage you to do stuff that your parents didn't want you to do. And then when you got caught, he would laugh at you. I just remember, you know, people could lie to you, but animals never do. And I never went anywhere where a dog or a cat or something didn't come up to him immediately. He was well loved by animals, and you know they don't lie. He was my Uncle Jake, and I will miss him. I love you, Uncle Jake.
Baby, can you come up here?
This is Dixie, Jake's neighbor, and Chris in the back.